Gurudev Pranam. Joseph Carini from US has sent you questions through email, and I will read as he has written on his email. His question is, what recommendations for a householder in the midst of life to begin ordering the life to center around spiritual practices? Should there be a definite time for spiritual practice? How to practically approach developing real discipline? That's his question.
Om Shanti. This is a common question. This is a very common question. And during the time I have been having interaction with people, thousands of people in my life, and most of them had the same question in their mind. A lot of them have asked me also the same, that how being involved in family, having profession, daily duties, mundane duties, people can attain spiritual height, spiritual realization. Because every individual in this world, from the very bottom of the heart, seeks genuine peace, lasting peace. Peace is the criteria. People have everything, but sometimes they lack peace. Often they lack peace, true peace. So it doesn't matter whether somebody is having a family, job, his business, trade, or he is a monk, a man who is recluse or who has given up everything and seeking God. Both have the same kind of inner urge that they should have real joy, real peace, security, inner security. This is one important thing, that a lot of people don't feel secure. Life, any little problem creates pandemonium in their mind, turmoil, and a lot of negative imaginations assail them. So this is a common question actually. To answer this, I should say, it's mind. It's mind. Mind, first of all, has to decide, take a resolve for the goal that I must achieve spirituality. I must achieve the goal. I must achieve realization. So this kind of determination, because you become the same what you think, and you achieve the thing that you cherish. So it is a psychology which is guiding everyone. It's a psychological power. It's how do you build your psychology? How do you build your outlook? That depends upon your achievement. So whether you are with a family, or you are with society, or you are in the jungle, in a forest, in a solitude, meditating, but what is your purpose? What you want to do, what you want to achieve? If you have decided it and made it a point that I must by all means reach this goal, then only your practices can be fruitful easily. It is said that he who gives God a second place gives him no place at all. A lot of people in this world nowadays, having their desires, hankerings for the mundane things. They all the time think of money, house, this material, that material, worldly things. So the nature of mind is that if you go on thinking on something, that becomes the object, main object, and it dominates reciprocally. It dominates the mind. If you are hankering for something, that also grips you. So this gripping is very difficult. So if you constantly think of spirituality, if you constantly think of the divine and try to think of the world only that much what is needed, and the rest of the time you give in your study, meditation, and going through the Gospels of the great masters. So your mind is prepared. So the first thing is that you have to decide, and this decision, and you must accept the goal of God realization as the foremost object of your life. This acceptance, the moment you accept, in Gayatri Mantra, it is very nicely said. It is very nicely said that Om Bhur-Bhuvasva. What is Om? Om is the representative of the divine. It represents the divine, the sound symbol of the divine, of the all-permeating divine. Om. Bhur-Bhuvasva. In three worlds, the world that we see, the world that we think, and beyond, transcendental world. A three world we are connected with. We are connected with three worlds. We see, we think, and we go beyond this. Bhu, Bhuvasha, they call in Sanskrit. Bhu means that what we see, feel, touch, and the world that we think, which is larger than even what we see. And thirdly, the world which is space-like, the space of consciousness, no image, no proclivity, no circle of thinking, is beyond thinking. So these three worlds are there with every human being. We are aware of the two, the world of thinking and world of seeing, but the third world you need to practice meditation, yoga, and transcend. This has to be transcendental world. So Om Bhur-Bhuvasva. Om is permeated all these three world. Tat Savitur Varanyam. And what a human being is to do, his first duty is to accept this supreme consciousness from which everything has emerged. He must accept this as the goal of life. As the goal of life. He must accept this. Acceptance. Embracing the goal, first of all. First you are convinced that that entity, the supreme consciousness, the supreme joy, peace, knowledge, and eternity is there in you, and you must receive it, accept it as the goal. So, Tat Savitur Varinyam. It is worth acceptance. And then, Bharga Devasya Dhimai. After accepting it with knowledge, what do? You have to meditate. Bharga Devasya, of this God, Bharga, the light, the resplendence. You have to meditate on. You have to contemplate. You have to meditate, because knowledge comes from light, and if you concentrate on light of God in your third eye, in your forehead, within you, if you see the light permeated through this space, inner space, then knowledge will manifest. So this is the subtlest duty of every human being, to reflect, to cogitate on the light of God. And then what do you get? Bharga Devasya Dhimai. Then you pray to God. You pray to God. What is the prayer? The prayer says, Dhiyo iyo naha prachodayat. This intelligence of ours, which is capable of perceiving the light of God, should be brightened, should be made capable of receiving the light, concentrate, of meditating on the light, because it needs a capacity If you want to concentrate, you cannot concentrate immediately. You have to have capacity. So this capacity is given by the Supreme. If you are worthy, if you deserve it, you will get it. So in order to be deserved, in order to be fit for it, in order to be capable of it, you need to pray. So the first thing it says that the God is what? It is not just an individual. It is not just in the corner of the earth, or it is not just the corner of the space, or in the clouds, or anywhere. No. It is something all permeating, not only the world that we see and feel and touch, but the world that is within us. All the time we live in this world of ours, within us, the vast world of thinking, and then the world beyond thoughts, beyond mind, beyond intelligence, a space like eternity, then also. So these three worlds is interwoven with the thread of God, with the thread of Om. Om is the God, and that is to be accepted in the life. So first of all, the instruction is that you make your goal. You make your goal. What is the purpose of your life? You must be aware of it. You must be thoroughly aware of it, and must be dedicated to it, and must resolve that whatever difficulties you might have to face, you must reach this, because this is the reason that you are here. People are here. This is the reason that mankind is here. If a question is asked that why we are here, why all this vast universe, why all these living beings, infinite diversity, so many kind of species, and then finally human beings through the evolution, the crown of evolution. What is the purpose of human life? To become an engineer, to become a doctor, to become a trader, to be a millionaire? What? What we are here for? Because we find the millionaire die sad, depressed. We find sometimes poor also die happily. So why we are here? As if we are like grouping in the darkness, fumbling in the darkness. Why we are here? We want something, we get it, but then we are not satisfied. The dryness of the heart is multiplied. The more you get, the dryness of the heart, the hankering of the heart is multiplied. Therefore, the purpose has to be clear, first of all. Whether you are a monk, or whether you are a businessman, or whether you are an engineer or a doctor, doesn't matter. These are worldly professions. These are only worldly goals for your survival here, for your maintenance here, earning some means for life. But what is life for? You are earning means for life, but what is life for? Actually for realization, supreme realization. And if somebody asks that, what is the proof that it is for realization? We are happy without realization. But that is wrong. It's a wrong thing. Anybody says that I am happy without realization, yes, he is happy, but it's like a children's happiness. Children get happy getting a little toys, and then they feel happiness, but their happiness is not lasting. It's not the goal. It doesn't stay. It doesn't stay with you. So these petty happiness should not be considered as highest. The highest happiness is still awaiting you. So this should be the first duty of an individual, even a householder, that I am here for supreme realization, the inner stability of the consciousness, and my family life or my business life or my any sort of lifestyle one is passing through is only his karma. His past karma, his desires are being fulfilled through that environment, but the final goal is that. So whatever you have to enjoy in the world, but do never forget, never ever forget the goal. So if you keep the goal in your mind very steadily, and you are always aware of it, all the time you perceive it, which Buddha says, Sammak Drishti. The first instruction of Lord Buddha says, Sammak Drishti, right insight, right goal. Then according to that right goal, right insight, sammak sankalpa, right thinking. So your thinking, your action, your speech, your mental disposition should be according to this goal that you have chosen in your life steadily, very steadily. So a steady purpose in you should be cultivated. This is the first thing one has to do wherever he is. Then he can include his activities to support his family within this goal. He should not separate it. That you are a householder, you are not spiritual, and somebody spiritual is not a family man. Nothing like that. Any action that a person does can be included as worship. So work is worship. Your family is not something isolated from the world. It is a part of the totality. So whatever work you do, that work actually concerns to the world. It's a whole world, and world is God. The universe is God. It is the body of God. So you are really serving your God by doing activities, by working for your family. That can be included. It's only psychological preparation. It's only psycho-spiritual cultivation, that how you can transform your every activity to spirituality with your feeling. With your feeling. You are eating, say, eating to God. You are going to your hotel and working there and say that it is working to God. Hotel is not something isolated. It is not something separated. It is a part of the world, and I am helping the world. I am serving the world, and world is God. Look upon the world as the manifestation of God all the time. Look upon the living beings as the manifestation of the Supreme Consciousness, because as you may go to a sweet house where there are hundreds of sweets, but all sweets contain one element, that is sugar, that is sweet. Exactly in the same way, whatever you see around you, living or non-living, contains one element, that is the Supreme Consciousness, Supreme Light. The Creator is virtually present in everything. So that awareness should be cultivated. And that is the first duty. You become steady, you become settled, stable to your goal, that I must by all means reach the supreme realization of God, supreme realization of self, supreme self. That is the first duty for a householder or for whoever, whatever, and it should be actually imparted from the very beginning of life. It should be imparted to everybody. Even children should learn about it. Schools and colleges must teach these things to them, that what is the goal of life, realization, because this has been pronounced for thousands of years by people of wisdom, and all religions in the world are standing on this particular basis, that God realization is the goal of life. Serving mankind and realizing God. Serving living kind and realizing God. This is the goal of human being ultimately.
I got a question on that, Gurudev. Like you said, realizing that goal, spiritual practice as our goal, does the law of karma plays any role? What does that mean? Is like, for example, if you don't fulfill your desire or don't quench your thirst about your worldly desires, is it possible for any human being to start the spiritual practice? You know what I
understand. Indeed, this is possible. I am not speaking of the people who are very gross. Their desires are still in a very gross state. Their intellect is not developed. Their conscience is not developed. Their thinking force has not yet given them. So the people who are still very sensual, like recently from the evolution, from lower species, like monkeys or buffaloes or cows or these, there are people like that. It is constantly evolving. They're coming, the millions of people, billions of people in the world, they're evolving from that. That's why a lot of people are too much obsessed with their life, with their food, with their survival, survival oriented people. I am not saying about the grossly survival, grossly obsessed with the survival people, the people who want to survive. But if you have evolved to a certain extent, you have desires, but at the same time you have judgment, you have analysis, you can understand about the goal. So if parallelly people go, he devotes some time, devotes some thoughts, give some thoughts to his spiritual goal, and at the same time he is being impelled by his karma, he is doing his mundane duties. In that way he enjoys the both, and he can easily finish his karma very quickly. If there is a heap of wood that will be destroyed, of course, in the course of time, through wear and tear of the nature, it will be destroyed. They're worn out. But if you put a fire in it, it is quicker. If you light a fire to the wood, it will be quicker. In the same way, you have a heap of karma, back karma, that is impelling you, forcing you all the time to desires. But you are not satisfied with desires if you have some power of observation. If you can witness that with your discrimination, then you can understand that there is something else in the world, more than every day, going through the same process of desires and enjoying, and the so-called enjoying, I can say so-called enjoying, you eat and sleep, every day. There must be something else. If you are aware of that, then in comparison to that, it will be easier for you to finish your karma soon, because that's the fire. Awareness is fire. Awareness is your dharma. So you have the kama and artha. You seek materials in order to satisfy your desires, but when you are aware that there is one dharma, there is some special faculty in you. That faculty is to satisfy a supramental element, not just physical or sensual, but mind and beyond mind. And then when you are aware of that, you can compare, and when there is a comparison, it will be easier for you. Like you can compare that this place is higher than Kathmandu and it has a different charm than Kathmandu, and you can compare it. Even in Kathmandu, you are in Kathmandu, you can compare it because you have the experience. So through association, through environment, through inner and outer situations, in the course of time, every individual will become aware of his inner faculty of dharma, his characteristic, his basic nature, his essential nature, which will in the course of time lead him to salvation.
As you are speaking, it proves that it needs a lot of fine tuning inside, balancing a lot of things. And as Mr. Joe says here, he has an attitude of all and nothing attitude.
Now this is wonderful that he has all and he has nothing.
Right.
And I feel also same to me.
Right.
Either I feel that the whole universe is mine, or I think that nothing is mine. I think the whole universe is mine and nothing is mine. Because basically nothing is mine. And taking it from universal point of view, whole universe is mine. Because I can embrace the universe within my heart. With the hands of my heart, I can embrace the universe. So that is all right. He's talking about distractions from time to time. It is but natural, If you have not mastered, if you would not have any distraction at all, and you would be absorbed in samadhi whenever you would wish, you would be a great man, you would be already accomplished. So one has to struggle. This is the difficult most struggle, hardcore struggle. You have to do it in order to overcome your mind. Mind is the most difficult thing in the world. So sometimes mind goes with you, or sometimes it is like a naughty horse, throws you off. So in this, one has to have patience. Patience is most important. Patience, and keep doing. Sri Ramakrishna gives an example that those who are genuine farmers, those were, farmers by generation, even if there is no rain, no crops, they go on tilling every year. There is their duty. They go on tilling. The students could not learn, but still the teachers go on tilling. So, since the mind is not controlled, then you should not be hopeless, disheartened, and give it up. Do it again. And if the mind is not being concentrated today very well, then practice a lot of pranayama. Do some other activities, spiritual activities, not your business activity, but purely spiritual activities. Read Gita loudly. Read Gita loudly. Read Upanishad loudly. Mind will be again coming back to you. Patanjali says very nicely, Kriya Yoga. What is Kriya Yoga? Tapa Swadhyay Ishwar Pranidharani. Tapa means trying to concentrate. Swadhyay means chanting mantra or reading scriptures loudly. And then surrender to God. Offer everything to God and make your mind empty and relaxed and offer yourself to the divinity which is infinite. Surrender yourself to infinite every day and you will see the mind tranquil and becomes again joyous. When you are joyous, automatically you are drawn. You know very well what you are to do, what not to do. You understand my point? So, I think the question that Joe has put answered to a certain extent. To a certain extent.
That should clarify.
It clarifies?